Yeah, because I just
How,
kept
how
on
long
starting
how
tracks,
long would have that one taken, like on average?
maybe a month.
Okay, so on average before you were taking like a month, but now you can get it down in like a couple of days or within a week, basically.
Yep, yeah.
Sick, sick. Cool. Yeah, so obviously the time delay thing was fixed because do you feel like now you could just consistently make a new song every week kind of thing on average?
I'm pretty confident that I can. Yeah.
So right before when we did like our initial discovery session, what was the biggest things and challenges and concerns you had with your project before we actually started working together?
Definitely consistency and finishing tracks as a whole was the biggest thing for me. I didn't have the, I guess, know-how or structure in mind of how to, fatten my sounds and get things sounding as full as they needed to be for professional sounding release.
Yeah. Because originally we were going to work on more of the marketing stuff, and I think we both realized that we should have a look at the production stuff more so first, because I think that's going to get us like a better result long term rather than, worrying about the marketing stuff that can come later, obviously. Um,
Right.
so, obviously then we deviated and did a bunch of work on like the analysis stuff. And what did you think about that whole process? Because I haven't really seen anyone else do this kind of teachings where it's like, a lot of high volume repetition stuff and isolating parts of your production. What did you think about that whole experience?
I thought that was very straightforward and very it helped me a lot. It was just the repetition of going back and making those intros and builds and drops and really like at the same time learning about the structure of the songs that we were trying to or that I was trying to reproduce. Um, and yeah, definitely like really had a an eye-opening experience with referencing and uh, ADPTR, I think it was what it was called,
Yeah.
using that plugin. And yeah,
What were the main things you got out of that though? Like in terms of that experience, like and doing the references and recreations and stuff like that. What did you learn the most out of it?
hmm.
Was it more of like a sound design thing, or was it more mix and master, or was it something else?
it was it was a the mix and mastering part of it. That's something that I always struggled with, and what made me not want to release anything because I didn't feel like my tracks were sounding as full and as good as they could.
Mm, mm. But what about now? Like, how do you feel about it now?
Now I can just breeze through it. I have uh I made a I stepped out of my comfort zone last night and I made a bass house track that
Sick.
uh it's just like everything just clicks now. I can just go in. I've made my template where it just I open it up, I can just go. I have a rack full of drums already. It's just everything seems now like it's a lot more seamless and I don't really have to think about it anymore.
Mm. Well, also sounds like you're a lot more confident about your work as well, the way you were explaining.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, but like, what was the time it took before for you to like start and finish a full song before you joined the program?
Honestly, the last song that I finished completely that I thought was a finished complete product was about 3 years ago, and uh, it just this whole program just really I can I can now see uh like a painted picture almost
The light at
that
the end of the tunnel.
yeah instead of like it being a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, like it's like right there. I can just
Oh,
picture it
okay.
and be like, all right, this is what's going on. This is what I
Yeah.
need to do and execute it.
And so you were referring to that project from 3 years ago. Um, were you saying like that was the last time you finished something? Like fully?
Yeah, because I
But
just kept on starting
how
tracks,
long would have that one taken, like on average?
maybe a month.
Okay, so on average before you were taking like a month, but now you can get it down in like a couple of days or within a week, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
Sick, sick. Cool. Yeah, so obviously the time delay thing was fixed because do you feel like now you could just consistently make a new song every week kind of thing on average?
I'm pretty confident that I can, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm. And I guess the next step really now is to figure out, do you want to keep going down that route of trying to make a full song from start to finish in a week, or you can use the other strategy that we did, which was doing high volume. Because if you're doing 5 build-ups into drops in a week, out of one of those, one of them are going to be the better tracks, right? And out of that better track, you can choose to finish that one specifically. So
Right.
do you feel like you're the kind of person that's going to do more volume stuff, or is it going to just be more like, I'm going to start song and then finish it in the same week kind of thing?
Well, I don't want to go back to my old habits. So the 5 buildups and the drops is the plan from at least for now. I'm gonna
Mm.
start compiling a bunch of music,
Yeah.
get that social media strategy going, and use that for content. And then, but just to how do I say this? I think the repetition from that exercise is what really helped me grow
Mm.
to where I am today. And so, like, I'm gonna keep utilizing that as much as I can.
And so the reason being might be because you might have the same style of learning as me. And so out of a lot of the high performance stuff that I look into, that I apply to industry set, and a lot of the stuff I talk about is that everybody has a different style of learning. So there's visual learners, there's auditory learners, and then there's also kinesthetic learners. And I'm a kinesthetic learner, and which is somebody that I have to do repetition, repetition before something sinks in. So
Mhm.
if somebody was telling me, like if I was at a lecture or like even at school when I'd be like, in a classroom, I wouldn't understand or I wouldn't retain any information that the teacher said. They were saying like, you do this and then you do this and they do this, and I'd just be like, what? And I'd just be
Yeah,
zoning out. But it wouldn't be until I did something hands-on that something really clicks. But it doesn't just click, it like rarely, really clicks more than it would for somebody else. But I have to do the repetitions. And so that's what's kind of what the basis of this program is, that I'm trying to use more of a kinesthetic style of learning because, if you're not an auditory or visual learner, it's very hard to learn. Like it's a lot
yeah,
harder than usual. So I try to do a combination of everything, and that's essentially what that board is that, you've got the visual side, you can see how much better you're getting, and then obviously I'm talking to you or Callum's talking to you, and you've got the auditory side of like learning that way. But then you're doing the work on yourself, with the kinesthetic style, which is doing repetition, repetition, repetition. So that might
right.
actually be what nailed it for you, why other things didn't work in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so out of that whole experience, like if anyone's watching this video and had was on the fence about checking out industry set, what would you say to them?
Don't think about it, do it. If you're struggling right now to finish tracks, or whether it's be mixing and mastering or compiling or different content strategies or whatever it may be for your next step in your career, I would definitely recommend Industry Set for anybody who's thinking about doing that next step. If it feels stuck, especially, really brought me out of a hole, I guess you could say, and uh, I can see the light now.